Hello everybody, welcome back once again to a brand new episode of F122 Driver Career Mode. I've been doing so many of these lately because that strep throat set me so far back, so I hope you're enjoying. We have today, well, the post-summer break part of the season, starting with Belgium. 4 Grand Prix remain. Belgium, Italy, Mexico, Brazil, with a sprint race included there. And currently, we have an interesting fight there that we're not really in anymore from the Drivers' Championship perspective, as you see us touching down in the Belgium area now. But Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri set to fight it out for this World Drivers' Championship. Only 24 points, Max Verstappen is ahead of Oscar Piastri coming into this Belgian Grand Prix, a home Grand Prix for Max Verstappen. Now, he doesn't have his true home Grand Prix of the Netherlands coming up this season now, as we only have 3 Grand Prix remaining after this episode. But yeah, excited. Unfortunately, you know, we got the win in Canada, which was great in our home circuit. However, we went to the next Grand Prix in Silverstone. Things were looking pretty good, P2. And then we had a mechanical failure for the second time this season. And unfortunately, we've had issues in Australia, Monaco as well. And then the mechanical failure in Jeddah, and now in Silverstone, you know, it's piled on, and basically it has eliminated us realistically from World Drivers' Championship contention. So it's unfortunate, but personally, I wouldn't want it any other way. I think mechanical failures, we've seen drivers in real life lose championships because of mechanical failures. I personally don't mind losing my shot at a title because of that. Now, we're not mathematically eliminated, so we still have a chance, but realistically, it would take a full-blown miracle. And speaking of a full-blown, it was full-blown raining here on Saturday afternoon in qualifying. Sardi was feeling at a bit of a disadvantage coming into qualifying here, but we're going to do the best with the resources that we have and just hope for the best, because AI are always overpowered in the rain. So here we are, late in Q1, and this is the first time this season where I felt at risk of missing Q2 because of the conditions. So just being really patient, really calm, cool, and collected kind of deal on this lap here on these wet tires. And you can see Perez, look at Perez, misses the final chicane right there. He goes way wide, and this is going to be his only lap, so it'll be interesting to see where this ends up, because he's already down to P10. He crosses the line, goes P6. I go better, P5, but I stick with it. I stay on track for another lap, because look at this, everyone continued to improve. We're down to P15 late in the lap. We've found about 0.4 of a second to this point, but Perez, well, we already beat him. He's out. He's in like 18th place, and he did not make another lap. He pulled out of my way. So Perez is not going to advance into Q2 because of that mistake in the chicane last time through. We were down to P15, so we will make it no matter what, even if I don't cross the line, but I do cross the line nonetheless to go P6 here. So a bit of a dramatic Q1 to kick things off here, and you can see Perez, yeah, P18 for Sergio Perez in Belgium. Awful there from the Red Bull driver as we focus in now on Q2. The conditions are set to improve just throughout the rest of qualifying. So now on intermediates, Q3, we should be on to the dry tire, especially towards the end of the session. But, you know, same situation as Q1. You know, calm, patient, but a little bit more aggressive, obviously, now that we're on a bit drier, quote-unquote, of a compound with this intermediate tire. So not really knowing where I'm going to stack up here against the competition. It was a one-and-done kind of deal. We're going to head down this run straight away to cross the line. What is it going to be? It is in. We've made it to Q3 in the wet. So P8 actually beating our teammate of Piastri there. But Gasly, Norris, Magnussen, Stroll, and Zhou Guan Yu there for the Audi Sport F1 team out here in Q2. So now we set ourselves up for a one-and-done lap here in Q3. As you can see, Verstappen currently down in 9th place, which is a huge opportunity for Piastri, and actually a big opportunity for myself to get back into the hunt still if things went perfect. But Verstappen's still on a hot lap, so it's certainly not over yet for him as we come through towards the end of Sector 2. I was really actually pretty happy with the pace that I was setting here in Q3. As you can see, Verstappen, he actually went towards the top of the board here now as we head down towards this final chicane. And our teammate of Piastri is definitely somewhere up there in the top 5. Will we join him up there in the top 5? DRS open down the front straightaway across the line. It's only P9 here in Q3. Our worst effort all qualifying comes in the dry of all places. That's not what I expected, and yeah, I was a bit confused by that one, honestly, because I thought that we had way more pace in the car. George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, your front row, Verstappen third, unfortunately for myself, and Oscar Piastri, as I actually would go on the race director to see where I lost the time. It actually all mainly happened in turn 1, so that made me feel a bit better. Now, let's head to the grid.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher back in 1992. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there's no place quite like it. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri and Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Golden Boy and Alex Albon, Gasly, Norris, Kevin Magnussen and Stroll, Joe, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher and Sergio Perez, Schwartzman and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Well, we are ready to get racing here from Spa now, as immediately I saw soft tires. I'm not doing that again because we've done that twice this season and we got boned both times, so not happening. We're doing a medium to hard compound tire strategy, but it's supposed to rain about halfway through this Grand Prix, so let's get ready to race.
The formation lap gets underway and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. Ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Okay mate, Oscar is on softs going for an attack. We do not know if our mediums will make it to the rain.
Alright, yeah, 10-4, just keep me updated on the situation. Oscar Piastri starting on soft, so we know he will no matter what not make it to the rain unless it happens pretty quick. But we don't know if our mediums will make it to the rain, so everybody still might have to pit now as we're about to get underway as well. So Piastri going for the aggressive strategy to kick things off now. And if we're in position to, if we have to sacrifice ourselves to help Piastri, you know, we're going to do it at this point in this season. He has been the first teammate I've had that's just been able to downright beat me at times here now. As we're ready to go, lights out, P9 starting position, not ideal, but nonetheless, we have an opportunity to move our way forward. It's lights out. We're underway in the Belgian Grand Prix. George Russell, Lewis Hamilton in front row. Lockout for Mercedes as we head down towards turn 1. In the distance, you can see Piastri already. He was able to get himself up into second place, so he gets past. It looks like George Russell there, as it's Lewis Hamilton who's out in front, actually. Now, as you see side by side right there, Max Verstappen going at it with the Ferrari as they head down this long straightaway right here, and everyone's going to, of course, get hard on that overtake. Leclerc now under attack from his teammate, the Spaniard of Sainz, as you can see some side-by-side all over the place here. Now, I was under attack briefly from the Alpine, but not much there from them, as you can see. Alex Albon trying to work his way forward as well, as everyone's scrapping it out. Yellow's in the background there. There's a wingless Mick Schumacher. Perez is up the pace as well, and Schwartzman as well. What has happened there? An immediate look as Schwartzman has contact with an already wingless Schumacher at that point, goes for a slide, and here's why Schumacher has no way. wing, 3-wide sandwich with Schwartzman in the Aston Martin, and that tears his wing off, so he's going to have to come into the pits now at the end of this lap now. As you can see, Hamilton out in front at the end of this first and opening lap here in Belgium. Now Russell just in front of Max Verstappen. I'm settling into P7, so we gained 2 spots on this opening lap, which I was pretty happy with, honestly. 22 laps in this race, we got plenty of time, and we got pace in this car. Now on these mediums, just hoping, of course, that I can reel in Carlos Sainz, and we would do exactly that. We reel him in here in that Ferrari. Hamilton setting a really good pace, but look at this through Eau Rouge Radian. We're going to get a really good run on the back of Carlos Sainz. He's got DRS, but not enough momentum to keep himself ahead of myself here. Now we go to the left side of the circuit now, right against the grass and curbing, and we're going to go around the outside, and now we have the preferred lane. Not much of a fight there. Sainz kind of gave it up pretty easy, understanding the situation. So I'm still in this very moment driving as if I think I can win the World Drivers' Championship right now. I'm not thinking about team play right now, but today is a crucial episode on what changes for our season, if we become the team player or if we continue fighting for a World Drivers' Championship here. Now lap 5 of 22 at this point, closing in now on the back of the Monegasque driver Charles Leclerc, but you saw a bit of a moment of oversteer there, so I wouldn't be able to get an overtaking opportunity quite yet. Lap 6 out of turn 1 though, closing in again on the back of Leclerc. This time though pretty close, as we're going to be able to have an opportunity on this lap here. You can see in the sky, although it's supposed to rain, it's actually clearing up a bit. And now here we go with a big run on the back of Leclerc. This time we might have to go up the inside, unlike what we did on Sainz. Up ahead there's a battle between Verstappen and Russell as well here, as we're going to go around the outside and we make the overtake complete on Charles Leclerc. We've gotten both the Ferraris out of our way now, and now we can focus in on Verstappen and Russell. That's 4th and 3rd. Piastri in 2nd place on those soft tires, surprisingly, has not been able to pass Lewis Hamilton. It's been forever since Lewis Hamilton has won a Grand Prix. He might be able to change that today, but he's going to have to survive through changing conditions, that's for sure. Now as we head down into the final chicane, Russell goes straight on. He has a bit of a lockup right there, and he actually makes contact on Verstappen's left rear wheel, but now we're going to get past him as well, so he loses 2 spots there, goes from 3rd to 5th place. So an easy overtake for Max Verstappen, and an easy overtake for myself as well here. Now as we stay right on the back of Max here over the next few laps. Now yellow flags at the end of the first turn. It was actually Robert Schwartzman who was out of the Grand Prix due to a mechanical failure. At the end of the lap, in comes Piastri on those soft tires, so he's going to now go into a position where he is desperately hoping that everybody else on the mediums have to pit before the rain hits. And Mark was just telling me now that the rain is still about 15 minutes away, so it was looking like we are going to have to pit before the rain gets here quite significantly earlier. And actually lap 9, you can see myself coming in now. My pit window was open. Surprisingly, nobody's coming in, so it's just myself and that's it. So we're gonna head down and put on a set of hards, so I could risk it and put on a set of softs, but there's no guarantee, you know, when that rain is coming, and I didn't want to take that risk. So we're going to put on the hards anyways. Everybody else is going to put on the hards, so it's not going to be a big deal. They're all going to be pitting within the next lap or 2. We're going to cycle out behind our teammate of Oscar Piastri. He's heading through turn 1 right now. He'll be exiting right about on our left side in about 2 seconds, and there he goes. So yeah, we're going to come out behind him, but he's on the mediums. As you can see now, Lewis Hamilton, he is going to pit from the lead of the race. Max Verstappen following him in, not far behind Leclerc, as well as pretty well everybody is in at this point here except George Russell and like Carlos Sainz. So we're going to see where everybody's cycles out here. You can see Verstappen and Hamilton both ahead. Look at that, Perez and Verstappen, they were side by side actually through Eau Rouge and Radian, and that would allow Piastri and myself to get a little bit closer towards the braking zone here. Verstappen trying to complete the pass on Perez, but Sergio not making it very easy here. And now I'm kind of playing the team player role. Instead of going full beans on my teammate, I'm actually going to try and be a little bit more lenient with Oscar and giving him an opportunity to, of course, fight. But he wasn't able to make any overtakes, so he was in 3rd place, net P3, behind Verstappen as well as Lewis Hamilton. So we're going to be a net P4 here now, as I'm actually looking to overtake Oscar here. Now he had a bit of a rough run up the hill right there, and now I'm going to go for the overtaking opportunity. He didn't leave a lot of room right there to work with. Nearly into the grass we went here, side by side, wheel to wheel, down towards the braking zone, and Piastri has proven in the past that he's not going to make it too easy, and he's not making it easy this time either. Contact with myself and Piastri. We go wide through the grass just about, and immediately I wanted to take a look. Watch this happen again here now. So we were side by side down towards the braking zone right here, and it was a heck of a battle we actually have with Piastri. But right here, he has a bit of a bobble on the steering and actually pushes a little bit into me. So I thought it was my fault at first, but it looked like it was a bit more on him. I take over P3 now as we went into the carousel. Now let's take a really quick onboard look at Piastri as I try to slow it down, and it looked like he just kind of went straight for a quick second, so I don't think it was on me. I tried to leave him room, but I definitely could have left him more room. Fortunately, nobody gets any damage out of it. We move on and focus in here now. As you can see, going through the grid here now, 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. You see the skies starting to get cloudy again, so that rain is coming. Alonso there, P7 in front of Carlos Sainz, Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon. How about Perez down at P11 having a rough day? Just not been it for Perez, and we're battling with him in the World Drivers' Championship right now, so honestly, can't complain about him having a rough day now. As don't forget, we're battling against Red Bull for the Constructors' Championship with McLaren Chevrolet as well here now. As we come through lap 14, Piastri has the pace to actually go back at me, and I don't make it much of a challenge. He stuck with me, ran me back down, and I just said, all right, you know what, you've got more pace than I do right now. I was a bit surprised by this because we ran him down, and then he's just passes us right back without much issue. And speaking of much issue, for an overtake, Verstappen breezes past Hamilton, and to the lead he goes. We thought Hamilton might be in position to finally return to the top step of the podium here today in Spa, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Instead, Verstappen looks like he's going to extend his championship lead over Piastri and myself. However, now you do see the rain has started to fall, so the question is, lap 15 of 22 coming to lap 16, how quickly is it going to deteriorate? So we're gonna have to wait and see, of course, but you can see DRS disabled on lap 16, so it was pretty quick. And then we would get a suggested strategy change to come in for the inters, and you can see the track quickly getting worse. So we are going to come in. I already know Piastri's coming in, but I saw an opportunity right here to put Piastri in front of Verstappen. So if we double stack and hope that the Ferraris double stack, which they do, we could actually block Verstappen in his pit box and get Piastri out in front of Verstappen to get the potential lead or second place in this Grand Prix. So let's see if this actually works out. And yes, Verstappen is gonna get held up because the Ferraris have to wait for me to go in. So now the Ferraris go, Verstappen is gonna come out behind both Piastri and Lewis Hamilton, who now is back in front. Unfortunately, I sacrificed myself a bit there. We went down to P6 and gave up a spot to Fernando Alonso as well. So that was a bit unfortunate. We played that team role, and maybe a bit of a dirty team role, but at the same time, if I stayed out for an extra lap on these conditions, I would have been so much further behind as well, you know. So I think we honestly made two right calls right there, but 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix at this point. Not many laps are running on the intermediate tire, but Lewis Hamilton is still out in front over Oscar Piastri. Actually, Piastri is down in 3rd place right now. Leclerc is in 2nd, but white flag is in the air here in Spa. You can see about half a second between myself and Fernando Alonso. So we got some work to do. We've had a last lap battle this season with Fernando. We've had some tussles with the Spaniard a couple times now, and they've been pretty exciting ones. It's not been nothing, you know, calm, cool, and collected. It's been wild, and the big slide right there from Alonso. I abused the track limits a little bit, and now here's an opportunity. I decided to commit around the outside. Can we go for the overtaking opportunity here around the outside? Now we have the preferred lane into the next left-hander here, side by side, wheel to wheel, keeping it clean, giving Fernando the room that he is, of course, entitled to. Now it's not my corner. I don't like that approach in Formula 1. So we continue side by side through the long sweeping left-hander. I was just being really careful to not wreck the car at this point. Now still side by side. What a final lap battle. We go a little bit deep into the braking zone, but this actually might help us into this corner right here. Let's wait and see. Yes, it will. Clear of Alonso. Lewis Hamilton in command in these closing moments. It's been a long time coming, over a season, but Lewis Hamilton finally returns to the top step of the podium as he exits the final turn and wins in Spa over Leclerc, Piastri, Verstappen. We're going to exit this final turn for a very respectable still P5, as that will definitely for sure take us out of the World Drivers' Championship. Maybe not mathematically, but still very realistically, if it wasn't already a realistic approach to look at it that way to begin with. We do get driver of the day, only going from P9 to P5, but let's go for the podium celebrations.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Rain always has the potential to liven up a race and mix up the order, and they've taken full advantage of that to claim the victory today. It's always a bit of a lottery when the conditions are like this, but they've managed to stay on circuit and have come out on top.
Well, there you have it. Lewis Hamilton is officially back on the top step of the podium for the first time in what has felt like ages in this F1 22 driver career mode there, and very cool to see him back up there now. Leclerc, Piastri joining him as well. Piastri has just been so good in this career mode season now, and I'm curious to see what his AI is going to be like in F1 23. I'm not going to be teammates with him in F1 23, at least to start. I know exactly where I'm going to kick off that career mode, but I'm not going to tell you guys. You'll find out, of course, in the prologue episode. So because of that strep throat situation, it's put the series so far back that we're going to finish the series and then only have like a one-day break, and then we're going to start the F1 23 career mode with the prologue episode, and then the following day, hopefully the following day, the first episode in Bahrain. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens, because I don't know what my day will actually look like for release. But you see the finishing order on your screen there. We'll take a look at the standings. We know Piastri has made at least some gains. Verstappen did have the fastest lap, so he gets that extra point, which will play a big role here. But let's take a look at the official drivers' standings following the Belgian Grand Prix. Now, Piastri only gains 2 points. He's 22 back. We are 71 back. So, well, 75 points up for grabs in 3 Grand Prix. We're 71 back, so we're not officially out, but we are realistically very much out of the picture at this point now. Constructor standings gets even closer. We are 11 points back right now from Red Bull. It's going to be a fun final 3 episodes, and I can't wait for you guys to see them all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.